Should Treyarch remaster Tranzit? I was in the shower the other night thinking of video games, as any man should, and then suddenly I remembered what me and a good friend of mine were discussing while playing Liberty Falls. Should we get a Tranzit remaster in Black Ops 6? Now, there are two types of people in the zombies community for the most part. One, people who are looking forward to what's to come. And two, the people who are not looking forward to what's to come, and the people who just live in the past, who are very, very heavy on the nostalgia. And that's fine. I'm not trying to jab or separate either side of the community. I just think that's facts. The idea of a Tranzit remake to some would probably be a dream come true, and to others, they may just roll their eyes. Personally, I can see both sides of the coin. So, what do I personally think about a Black Ops 6 Tranzit remake? I think for this game in particular, a remake of the too innovative for its own good Tranzit would fit extremely well. Now, do I think Treyarch wants to remake it? I'm going to say probably not, and I'm going to kind of explain why. Personally, I think Black Ops 6 would be perfect for a remake of the classic Tranzit map that was honestly pretty bad on Black Ops 2. Too much fog, bad weapons, the jet gun sucked, it wasn't worth building, the turbine being used for everything and being annoying to deal with was pretty horrible, and the map just felt big and empty, etc, etc. These are all things I think are wrong within Black Ops 2 and plenty more. And some people think some of those things just add to the charm and it's supposed to be a challenging map and blah, blah, blah. However, I disagree. I think they did the best they could with what they had. If they wanted to, with the tools now, the devs they have, and the capacity, it has the potential to be an amazing map in 2024 and 2025. For starters, the jet gun is quite literally already here. They have it and they fixed it and they made it absolutely fun and worth building. If they were to add a Tranzit remake, building the jet gun would feel so much more fun. It would, like, so many games of Tranzit I played, almost all of them, and I was like, it's not really worth getting the jet gun, so I'm not even gonna bother. If the jet gun was like how it is now in this game, it would make it so worth it all the time. I would definitely be building the jet gun, no doubt about it. Traversal system in COD games has progressed a lot with bikes, boats, zip lines, and things of that nature. They could easily work into the map a properly working and smooth routing bus feature for the map. I think they could easily do that. I think it would be a lot more smooth. It would just be a lot smoother. I'm not going to say the traversal system in Black Ops 2 wasn't bad. It's just they've had a lot more time with it. They've opened up the door with a lot of other things. Like I said earlier, with the bikes, the boats, and the zip lines. If they redid it, it would just be just a smoother, more well-rounded feature. Taking all of the fog out and replacing it with playable and or structural map to explore, see, or even just look at would be phenomenal. Literally anything is better than the endless fog and lava just taking over all these locations that you explore. Now, that isn't to say that they can't have fog or lava, because I really think with the right amount of fog, lava, and fire, it helps to the atmosphere and it can be really cool, and you could make it even a little more eerie in spots. Whereas the fog in Black Ops 2 and the lava was just annoying, it wasn't pleasant to look at, it was gross, and it just always felt like more of a hassle and an annoyance than anything to even have anything positive to say about it. It was just filler, and that is what it is. It was just filler, but I mean, it sucked. Now, personally, I think they need to rework it and make something else out of the turbines. I don't care what you say, it was super inconvenient and they just suck. Anything you built basically needed a turbine. If you wanted to get Pack-a-Punch, you need a turbine. If you wanted to get power, you kind of need a turbine. If you wanted to use this buildable machine turret, RPD on the mannequin or whatever it was, you needed a turbine. And I just don't know, that was just so inconvenient. You could never really have a shield for the, beginning parts of the game when I felt like you needed it the most, because you're always trying to get turbine, and maybe I just sucked, but it was just annoying, okay? But if they felt like they wanted to keep it true to the original, then I suppose more power to them. They could keep them in, but I really just think that would need a rework. There's so many ways they could make the power system better than just using the turbines. I know a lot of it now is you have this generator, and this generator, activate it, get this side of the map working, and then go to the next, which that's cool. And I think if they did something where you kind of had the same setup like they do in Terminus, you have a generator here, or at every location you have one, until maybe you get them all on, and then you got like a main power source somewhere else. And when Avogadro comes, he can EMP it, or whatever the case may be, EMP the stuff in that area, make it to where it doesn't work, or he can even turn off the power in that area, and you just can't use it. But when you go back, you can just reactivate it and go like that. Like, I think something like that could work really well, where it's new, it's refreshed, but it still has that same feel and importance like it did in Black Ops 2. Really, I just love the way Black Ops 6 plays, and it feels right to have it remade in this game in particular. Now, I don't think it needs to be a DLC like what we know with the 4 usual major maps that we always get in Call of Duty Zombies. I think it needs to be more of a bonus map they add alongside a season, or a season reloaded, like Season 2 reload, Season 3 reload, or start Season 4, just something like that. Or just add it with a separate DLC map at the same time. I think it would serve a lot better that way. So instead of taking it away from the new maps we still get those 4 main DLC maps that are big on the story, big on the lore that we currently have, and they're not taking a lot of time away from that. And then on top of that, we get a bonus remake of that map to the side, a side thing, not a DLC, not where, oh, in Season 3, instead of getting a new map, we're getting a Tranzit remake, which some people may enjoy that, but I'm more looking forward at this point to what they can bring into the future. I still think it would be really cool to have Tranzit, but I still want to get those 4 maps. I don't want anything to like take away from the time and what those could be. It would be a cool thing for them to do as a little surprise, even if it's towards the end of the cycle, maybe after the last DLC drops. Maybe they have people kind of working on it here and there. Maybe it's kind of something they have in their back pocket, something they've thought about doing. Maybe towards the end, they just kind of throw it out there like, hey, kind of like Black Ops 3 did with Zombie Chronicles. They kind of just threw it out there late. And if they did that with a Tranzit remake in this game, I feel like that would kind of just be like the icing on top, because it would be phenomenal. Now, even though it feels like they are kind of over the remakes at this point, and I really don't blame them, for the most part, I am too. Like, the thought of them remaking maps like Buried, Die Rise, and I don't know, Farm, it just doesn't feel right. It just kind of just feels out of place when you think of the direction that COD Zombies has gone and how it is now. For instance, side by side, if you were to put Buried and Black Ops 6, something about it just doesn't sit right with me. I just don't think that could be done well enough to make it worth it. I think it was so good in Black Ops 2 that there's no need to even remake it, really and truly. Now, it would be cool, yes, I just don't think necessary. But with Tranzit, I think it feels right because it had so much potential. They just could not reach it. But now they could make it big. Like I was saying, it's really big. It was really innovative. They spent a lot of time on it. Obviously, they just weren't capable of doing more than they had. But now they could. So I feel like in this sense, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, it just feels right. And not to mention, they kind of have Ted plastered everywhere, from the operator skins to emblems and to prestiges. But then again, I'm sure they just want to give players a little taste and a little tribute to kind of what Zombies used to be back in the old day. Something for the OG players. They know a lot of us like that kind of stuff, the little Easter eggs. I'm sure that's all it is, but you never know. I mean, they have included Ted a lot. Now, does Treyarch want this to happen? I'm going to say no. I kind of also think they are over the nostalgia and kind of want to leave it behind and keep moving forward with the new story, the new maps, and the new games and everything they have going forward without looking back, without having to dig back into the past and bring up stuff like remade maps. And that makes total sense to me. As much as I love for a game to cater to the OG players, aside from a few Easter eggs and small things like that, and let's just say, for instance, them adding dig sites back, or maybe them adding perks that we haven't seen in a long time, and just things of that nature, I don't think they really have any drive to do it. Because really, why would they? On one hand, you'd have people losing their mind over it, but on the other hand, you'd have people saying, well, there they are. They got nothing else left. They're out of ideas. All they can do is rely on nostalgia. They're really just going to keep remaking the same apps over and over. You're just going to have that same crowd. And it kind of puts them in a spot where it's like, okay, people think that the new stuff sucks, and they think we can only go back and dig from the past. Okay, well, let's do that. And then they do that, and it's like, okay, well, what the heck? People like it, but more people are like, wow, imagine that, blah, 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 blah. You picking up what I'm putting down? It just puts them on a weird spot, but who knows? Really, is it a lose-lose, or is it a win-lose, or is it a win-win? In their case, I don't really know. Regardless, they now have the ability to make the map that they truly, really wanted to. Now, I know it's not the same people making the map, but Treyarch as a whole could really do it justice without any of the restrictions that they previously had. And you know what? By golly, I'm all for it, but I really don't want to see any other maps remade. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't get excited if others were, or I wouldn't be kind of hype or interested to see how they were. You guys know how I feel about it for the most part. You guys let me know how you feel. Would you want to see Tranzit remade? Or are you just over the remakes at this point? And if so, let me know why. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on it. This is just a bit of a yap session, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.